So what's going on, everyone? Designedcoma here. Welcome back, and the gameplay you're watching is me playing some domination in Black Ops 3. So what do we got for today's video? Well, you know, is something that me and my wife were talking about the other night. We just kind of, I don't know how we got into the subject actually. It was, well, I think I know how. I think I remember how. Anyways, so what the subject was is it has to do with when we were first dating, when me and my wife were first dating and getting to know each other and all that kind of stuff. We were huge hockey fans. Okay, now don't get me, you know, keep in mind I'm in Michigan, of course, you know, in Detroit, the Red Wings, hockey town, all that stuff. And when I first met her and found out that she was like really into hockey, and you know, I mean, she was okay with some other sports, but her main love, her main sport was hockey. She just loved hockey, and I can't tell you how excited I was. I mean, that's really great. You know, it's awesome to meet somebody, especially you know, somebody of the opposite sex, obviously, who is that much into a sport that you really enjoy, because it makes it great for both of you. So for the longest time, my wife and I, you know, when we were first dating, I mean, there were times where, you know, our going out nights were just, let's go up to the local, you know, local bar and just sit there and, you know, watch the game. You know, that's what we would do. We'd go watch the game. And you know, the funny thing is the the beer of choice was always Molson Canadian. You know, I mean, that's pretty hilarious, you know, when you think about it. You know, so yeah, we would go up to the bar, we'd watch the hockey game, we'd talk, you know, things like that, and it was always a great time. We had an awesome time doing it. You know, of course, you know, as your relationship grows, and you know, eventually we got married and stuff, of course, you know, because I do, you know, I do say she's my wife. But the thing is you know, we never really stopped. We didn't stop watching hockey, you know, like after we had kids and things like that. I mean, of course, we didn't necessarily go up to the bar that much anymore because we had a baby at the house. You know, we couldn't just go hang out up at the bar. You know, we had a baby at the house. But you know, we still watched it, you know, regularly on a regular basis. We would watch it on a regular basis. You know, whenever it was on, you know, on television, we would obviously watch it, and it was great. You know, we'd sit there at home, we'd just sit there and watch the hockey game, and we always had a great time, you know, watching the games and stuff. You know, and yeah, you know, the other night we were just kind of sitting there, and we were watching some other movie. I forget which movie it was, but we were just kind of sitting there watching the movie and just kind of talking, you know, back and forth on various different things, because it's something we've already seen. You know, we've already seen this movie, so it's not like we didn't have to actually sit there and watch the entire thing, and we weren't going to yell at each other because, you know, one was talking and the other one wasn't listening or anything like that. But you know, so we were just kind of talking about different things, and we got into the subject of, you know, hockey. And I can't remember what brought it up, but for whatever reason we were on the subject of hockey, and you know, I brought it up that you know, I was like, you know, we don't really watch hockey that much anymore. In fact, we don't really watch it at all. And it's not because we're unhappy with the Red Wings, or we think they're terrible, or anything like that. But it really has to do with this. Okay, when we had, you know, cable and things like that, you know, eventually the games would start to get they would start to be blocked out or blacked out. So it ended up being that, you know, you had NHL Center Ice, okay, which is the hockey cable channel, where you'll find just practically every single hockey game you could ever imagine will be televised on that channel. But that kind of put a little crimp into being able to watch the games as often as we could. They still televised the games, but it wasn't as often. And then eventually it got to the point where, you know, there was hardly ever a game on just, you know, your local television channel. It used to be on, I think it was channel 4 here in our city. It was WDIV Detroit, I believe. I think it was that channel, but I could be wrong as far as what channel was. And the reason I don't really know for sure anymore is because it's literally been that long since we watched a hockey game. So what really put a crimp into the sport for us was the fact that, one, obviously, you know, it's not like we had a bunch of money to go buy tickets to go to the games, which that would be great, but you know, that wasn't the case. Every once in a while we got lucky enough to get some tickets, but it's not like we would buy them, or, you know, or even season tickets for that matter. But because of the fact that now the local channels just were not really televising the hockey games. I mean, they're on once in a great while, but you know, it's like the weird hour, you know, or the weird game, you know, like the one that's going to be in the middle of the week or something, or something of that nature, you know, and or it happens to be a game on for when there's something else on that you're obviously going to watch, you know, which is kind of weird. And that's really kind of what put a crimp into it. And that's what my wife brought up, you know. She was like, you know, we really didn't decide that we were just done with hockey. She was like, it was mostly because of the fact that it just wasn't on anymore. You know, it wasn't being televised like it used to be. So it gave us less options to be able to watch it. You know, and at the same time, you know, having kids and stuff, you just don't have the time to be able to, you know, go to your local bar or pub, whatever it is you choose to go to, or sports bar, or whatever it might be, to watch the game. And half the time, you really can't even hear it, you know. I mean, I like to hear the stuff as opposed to just watching it. You know, I like to be able to hear the announcers. I like to hear all the action. I like to hear the skating. I like to hear the puck going across the ice and getting hit with the sticks and passed and all that. I like to hear that stuff. But when you're at a bar, you know, you really can't hear it. You know, and when we were dating, it was good and all, but you know, over time, it was just some things that you decided that you know, you enjoy. And honestly, that's really what kind of killed it for us, you know. And I don't see too many of the other sports doing it yet, but I do see, you know, some games that, you know, for like for football and for baseball that aren't necessarily televised on the standard local channels, and they're mostly on the pay, you know, sports channels that you sometimes have to actually pay extra for, which is what was the case for hockey. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like, favorite, and subscribe. And I know it was just kind of rambling on and stuff, but you know, it was an interesting subject. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one.